Hi, and welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. For today's class, all you're going to need is a yoga mat or a towel or an area of the floor that you can do exercises on, water, and then a chair or a step or something that you can put your whole body weight on, so something you can sit or stand on. So I'm going to just make sure the stream looks good, and we'll get started here in just a few. All right, perfect. So remember, just a reminder, if you are watching the stream from somewhere besides the Thunderwell Facebook page, welcome. But also remember that if you comment with a question, I will not see it. So if you are commenting with questions, make sure you're commenting and watching from the Thunderwell stream. We're going to get started here in just a second. So like I said, all you'll need for today's class is a yoga mat or a towel, some water, and then something that's sturdy enough for you to put your body weight on to sit or to stand. And that can be like an ottoman, a chair, whatever. So we'll get started here in just a second. And yeah. And Happy New Year. All right. So we're going to start today with a warm-up, as always. All right, so you can start standing at the end of your mat or the area where you're going to be working out. We're going to walk our hands out into the plank position and then all the way back, standing up nice and tall, reaching for the ceiling and repeating. We're going to do this 5 times. And on the 5th one, you can bring one leg forward and open up toward that leg, and then switch which leg is forward. And we're going to do this for 3 per side. And you can go ahead and bring both feet back. We're going to come into a tabletop position. And we're going to do a set of 5 cat-cows. So inhaling up into your spine, exhaling down. You can also reverse that. So if you want, if it feels better, you can inhale in cow, exhale up into cat. So it's up to you. Perfect. So on that last one, we're going to sit up. We're going to sit with our legs crossed in a way that's comfortable, nice and tall. You're going to take one hand, put it behind your back, and we're gently just going to pull our neck away for a few seconds. Sorry about that. And switch sides. And then you can drop both your hands to your sides or to your knees. And you're going to bring your chin to your chest and slowly go all the way around and all the way back. So take these nice and slow. And one more. Beautiful. So you can go ahead and stand. We're going to do some arm circles. So bringing those arms forward. Taking some deep breaths. Switching directions to go backward. And then we're going to return to the floor. So we're going to come back to that position where we're on our hands and knees. And we are going to engage our core. And we're going to do a set of 8 bird dogs per side. So you are extending opposite arm, opposite leg, straight back, keeping that core engaged. Perfect. So from there, we are going to go into, let's do child's pose. So sitting back for just a second, keeping your fingers in front of you, allowing that stretch. We're going to take a few deep breaths, breathing into our belly. Try to think of your hips sinking into the floor. And then we're going to come up all the way to a standing position again. And this time, we're going to come into a deep squat stretch. We're not going to stay in that deep squat for very long. So you're coming down into that deep squat. You can kind of shift your weight back and forth a little bit. You can grab your toes if you want. Then we're going to come up into that hamstring stretch. Again, you can shift your weight a little bit. And then back into that deep squat. Back up into that hamstring stretch. One more time into that deep squat. and then back up into that hamstring stretch. So we're going to finish by coming back to the mat or to the ground one more time, laying on our stomach. We're going to do a set of YTAs for 8. So you're going to come up for Y, resting your forehead and legs on the ground, up for T, up for A. So up for Y, up for T, up for A. And you're really squeezing the back of your shoulder to create this movement. It's not really coming from the arm. And come on up. So feel free to stretch anything else you feel like you need to stretch. I'm going to talk us through circuit 1 here in just a second. All right, so you can continue resting, stretching, drinking water, whatever you need to do to prep for our first circuit. Our first circuit today is going to be single leg glute bridges or both leg glute bridges. You have the option of either. Pike push-up or a downward dog hold. Or you can kind of shift between a downward dog and plank position, up to you. 6-inch hold for core. And then a bear crawl hold or a kick through. So a lot of core in this first group. So let's start by talking about these single leg glute bridges. So I'll show you both legs first. So you're going to lay on your back. You're engaging your core. Hands at your side. Squeezing your glutes and hamstrings to come up and then back down. Maintaining that core throughout the movement. You might pause at the top for a second. Come back down. For single leg, super similar. You can extend that leg or you can even bend the knee. It's up to you. So you're extending. You're keeping that core engaged yet again. Driving up through the hip and back down. So up through the hip, back down. And then you can switch. Same thing on the other side. Perfect. So either one of those, I'll tell you when to switch. If you're doing both legs, you can just go straight through, continuing with both legs. Next, you'll have pike push-ups or downward dog hold, or you can kind of also do plank and downward dog. So pike push-ups, you can start similar to a plank position. You're going to push through your shoulders, so you're pressing the ground away from you. My head is going to be looking at my toes, and then I am going to try to lower my head towards the ground and back up, like so. So each rep, I am lowering my head and coming back up. If you are just holding in downward dog, you're just going to hold here, keeping that extended position. You can also switch back to plank, back up to downward dog. It's completely up to you. If neither of those options feel good for your body, you can do those YTAs that we did in the warm-up as a substitution. Third, we have a 6-inch hold. So for that, you're going to lay on your back, put your hands under your butt, extend your legs, and hold. So you're keeping that core engaged, you're not letting your back arch, and we're just holding in this position. You can take breaks by pulling your legs toward you, and then re-extending them when you're ready. And then fourth and final, for this set, we have a bear crawl hold or a kick through. So the bear crawl hold is really simple, and you can take, again, breaks as you need with this. So you're going to start almost in that tabletop position, but with your toes tucked under. So not feet flat on the floor, toes tucked under. You're going to push up like this so that your knees are hovering around above the ground. Your core is engaged, and you're making sure that you are evenly spreading your weight between your hands and feet. If you're just doing the hold, you would just hold in that position. If you want to do the kick through, I'm going to show from the side, then I'm going to show from several angles. So from this side view, you would pivot, bring this leg through, and then come back. So I'm going to face, there's no really easy way to give you all the angles at once, unfortunately, on video. But so you are here, I'm up in the bear hold position, I'm rotating through, I'm switching, rotating through. So each time I'm coming back to that bear crawl hold, and then rotating my leg through, and rotating my leg through. So we probably won't do those for super long, that'll probably be more of a 30-second circuit. But that's going to be our first circuit. So I'm going to get ready to set the timer. We're going to start with some single or both leg glute bridges. And hello, okay. So let's start with Let's start with 30, we'll do 30 seconds per side, and then I'll tell you to switch, or you can continue doing both. So 10-second countdown, and we're starting with single leg glute bridges. So pick whichever side you want to start on. 10-second countdown. And switch sides. 10-second countdown. Remember to keep that core engaged. All right. So next up, we have pike push-ups or downward dog hold. You can also rest in a downward dog hold during those pike push-ups if you want. So let's change the timer here. Let's do 45 seconds. All right. 10-second countdown. Whew. That was a challenging 45 seconds. Great job. All right, so next up we have the 6-inch hold. I'm going to do the timer for 45 seconds. If you only want to hold for 30 seconds, that's totally cool. I'll shout out increments at 15 and again at 30 and then obviously 45. So 10-second countdown. Go. 15 seconds. Thirty seconds. Great job. And last but not least, we're gonna do the bear crawl hold to kick through, which I think I'm gonna do 45 seconds, and I'll call out 15 and 30 seconds as well. So we're gonna stick with the 45 seconds. So 10-second countdown, and we're working. Go. Great job. So grab some water. We're gonna shorten a few of those rounds on the second go through, so don't worry about that. Great work. That was a tough round. All right, so in just a few minutes, we're going to repeat that whole round. We're going to do 30 seconds for everything in that round the second time through, with the exception of, well, I guess not really the exception. We'll still do 30 seconds per leg for the single leg glute bridges at the beginning. But everything in that round is going to be 30 seconds this time. So finish grabbing a sip of your water, and we are going to start with the single leg glute bridges or both leg glute bridges here in just a second. All right, so back to your mats. 10-second countdown. Remember, you're engaging your core for these. And go. And 10-second countdown. Switch sides. And go. Great job. So next up, we have either the downward dog hold or pike push-ups. So 10-second countdown. We're only doing 30 seconds this time. Woo. All right, so 30-second, 6-inch hold. So laying on your back. Remember, you're keeping your core engaged so your back doesn't arch. Hands under your butt. 10-second countdown. Go. All right. So last but not least, we have 30 seconds of the bear crawl hold, or you can do the bear crawl kick through. So 10-second countdown. Great job. All right, so grab some water. I'm going to talk us through our second circuit here. Okay, so circuit 2 today is squats, super people, curtsy lunges, or we'll give you some other options, and dead bugs. So lunges, or sorry, we'll start with the squats. So squats, this is where that chair might come in handy. So if you feel like when you squat, you feel like you're gonna fall backwards, it might be nice to have a chair behind you. So squat fundamentals, you wanna keep your core engaged, feet at least hip width apart. Hips are gonna come back, knees are gonna come forward and out. So I'm keeping my core engaged and my chest up as I'm descending and then coming back up. Another cue that might be helpful if you're trying to figure out when to breathe with your squats, you can inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. So if you feel like you're struggling with balance, it might be helpful to elevate your heels. You can put a couple books under your heels, or you can put something behind you. Like I'm putting this bench behind me. So as I squat, I'm squatting to the bench. So if I lose my balance, I'm just sitting, and then I can stand back up from there. So that is perfectly fine. If squats feel uncomfortable for you, you can also you can do just some single leg balance where you're like alternating legs or some marching. Super people are going to be next. So super people, you are laying on your stomach, arms and legs extended. You are engaging your core to come up. So just like that. Next up, we have curtsy lunge. Okay, so this is where I'm going to give you a bunch of options. So a curtsy lunge, you're starting, I'm going to start facing the camera just so that it's easiest to see. I'm stepping back and to the side. So back into the side and then back. So each time, back into the side, almost like a curtsy, and then up. If that feels like it's like too advanced for you or it bothers your knees, I would either do a backwards lunge or a forward lunge. And then if those still don't feel good, use that object that you have, whether it's a chair, bottom in, whatever. And you can actually do step ups where you're alternating legs onto that object. Even if you have just a stair and you want to use like the bottom stair and a flight of stairs, that works too. So really modify that to be what your body needs. Last but not least for this circuit, we have dead bugs. So you are laying on your back, arms and legs in the air. You are lowering opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that core engaged, not letting that back arch at all. Nice and slow and controlled. If these feel really difficult, you can do one of two things. One, take opposite hand, place it on opposite knee, and focus on doing one side at a time. You can do like 5 and then switch sides. If that doesn't work for you, you can also take your hands, place them at your sides, and just tap your toes on the ground. So you're still keeping that core engaged. I'm pulling my belly button into my spine. I'm making sure there's no arch in my back. And I'm just making sure that my low back isn't what's doing the work. So I always want to be working my core and not my low back. So that's going to be our second circuit today. Everything in this circuit is going to be 45 seconds. So we will start here in 10 seconds. So 10 seconds, we're going to start with some squats. Start the countdown. And go. All right. So next up, we have super people. So you are lying in your stomach. You can also do these as cobras if you prefer. Just instead of having your arms up here, you can have them at your sides. I might do that. So, all right. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So next up, we have those curtsy lunges, or you can do step ups. Those are the variations I showed you. All right, so 10-second countdown. Go. Great job. So last but not least for this round, you're on your back for some dead bugs. So 10-second countdown. Remember, slow and controlled for these. Grab some water. We're going to repeat that whole round one more time. Then we just have a few things left for today. Whew. Okay, so give everyone a few seconds to grab some water. Remember, for this round, we are squatting, super people, curtsy lunges, and dead bugs. And remember, for both squats and curtsy lunges, feel free to modify those to anything lower body that feels good for your body. So we'll start that in just a second. All right. So we are back to those squats. So we're going to have a 10-second countdown. We have one more of these rounds. And then we're going to finish with some core, and you'll be done for today. So 10-second countdown, and we're back with some squats. And go. Great job. So next up, we have super people or cobras. You can do either. 10-second countdown. All right. So 2 more things in this round. We have curtsy lunges, then dead bugs. So we'll start with those lunges. 10-second countdown. Remember, you can do any variation lunge or step up you want. And go. Perfect. And last but not least, laying on your back. We have 45 seconds of dead bugs. Then we have a few more fun things, and we're done for today. So 10-second countdown. Go. Perfect. All right, so last but not least, we're going to do crunches or sit-ups, any variation for 45 seconds. Side plank, which I'm debating between 45 or 30 seconds. We'll see how that goes. And then a wall sit. So let's start with those crunches or sit-ups for 45 seconds. Give everyone a few seconds to grab a sip of water, come back to their mat. And you'll see me doing sit-ups for this round. You can do crunches, so just a reminder, crunch is a really small movement. You are just engaging your core and coming back down. So I'm really just lifting my shoulders off the ground. Sit-up's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna be doing them stripped, so I'll have my arms here. I'm engaging my core to come up all the way and back down. So you can do any variation you want, and we'll start in 10 seconds. And go. Great job. Okay, what did I say was next? It's the real question here. Side planks. All right, okay. So we're gonna do 45 seconds per side. However, if you wanna tap out at 30 or even 15 seconds, that's totally cool. I'm gonna call out time in 15-second increments. So you'll get 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and then obviously 45. Two ways to do a side plank. Number one, full extension. So my feet are stacked on top of each other. My elbow is on the ground, underneath my shoulder. I'm coming up like so. You can also do a tall plank on your hands. I personally don't love how that feels in my wrist, so I never did it that way. So you can stack your feet, come up, making a straight line, squeezing from your armpit all the way down to your ankle. Most of the focus should be in your core. So that's full plank. Partial side plank, you can stack your knees on top of each other, bend them, and then come up from here. So either of those, perfectly fine. We're gonna try for 45 seconds and see how it goes. So 10-second countdown. I'm starting on my bad side, so we'll see how this goes. And go. You're at 15 seconds. 30 seconds. Stay there with me. Hang in there with me. Got 10 seconds left. And rest. Great job. Okay, so unfortunately we now have the other side. So we're aiming for 45 seconds. It's going to get tough towards the end. I'm going to call it every 15 seconds. And go. Mm-hmm. 15 seconds. $30 seconds. Hang in there. We got 10 seconds. And rest. Great work. All right, so all we have left, and we are done for today, is a 45-second wall sit, which you can do 15 seconds of, 30 seconds of, or the whole thing, depending on your mood. So wall sit, you are pressing your back into the wall, lowering yourself so that your knees and hips are creating two 90-degree angles. So 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. Keep your core engaged, tensing basically everything from the waist down. So I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown. And actually, I'll grab a sip of water to make sure everyone has an opportunity to find a spot on the wall. All right. So 10-second countdown. And go. $15 seconds. $30 seconds. Home stretch, almost done. And rest. Great job. So that is all I have for you today. As always, thank you for coming to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. I am coach and owner of Alien Athletes. Thank you to Thundermans for sponsoring this class. Thank you all for attending. And as always, this class is every Monday at 6 p.m. Same time, same place. So I will see you next Monday, same time. So thanks for coming, and I will see you next week.